Okay, we're going to take a look at the next part of the statement. I want a video. Okay, I have a theory, the puppy theory. Who doesn't love cute puppies? Okay, so think about it. You decide you're going to get a puppy. You think about it, you plan, you research, you figure out where he's going to live in your house. You do all of this in advance, then you bring the puppy home. And it's a great day, and you love the puppy, and you pet the puppy, and you feed the puppy. 3-4 weeks down the road, puppy's not so much fun anymore. Okay, now you got the puppy's chewing the furniture, peeing on the carpet, whatever. You have to, but you don't stop tending to the puppy. You don't start caring for it and feeding it and giving it water, because if you do that, you're going to have a scrawny puppy who, if you let it go long enough, will die. Now, I don't think anybody here wants to be a puppy killer. Okay? Think about that. No one wants to be a puppy killer. It's just not good. Okay, so social media is very similar in that it's a commitment. Your content is a commitment. It's not a whim. Or as I heard in another presentation, which I really like, it's not a one-night stand, it's a relationship. Okay? So you really need to think about that. You need to think about this long term. Okay? It's an ever-evolving, growing thing that has to be tended to. That's the difference. It's not something you just put out there, you throw your content out, and it is what it is. This whole area is very exciting because it moves and it shifts, and you see what kind of relationships you form online and what kind of feedback you get. So it needs to be tended to. You need to start to think to plan beyond that first video, that first website launch, that first YouTube post. Once again, when you're just getting started in this, lots of times that's where your focus is. You're just trying to get that stuff out there. Well, that's great. So you got it out there. What are you going to do next? Okay? What makes sense? So you need to think beyond that. And think in terms of feeding the puppy. You have to keep your content current, fresh, and interesting in order to appeal to your target audience. If you put something up there and walk away and don't change it out, okay, why would anybody be compelled to come back? Okay, there's a little tip that I use for people, especially if you're just kind of evolving a video content strategy. Think in terms of trying to start out with something that's a little more evergreen than something that has a definite stop expiration date on it. The reason I say this is when you're first getting into this within your organization, whether it be corporate, nonprofit, whatever, it's new. This is a new area, and getting things processed and getting things approved. Okay, you'll find once again, because video is the hot thing, you're going to find that lots of people want input. Okay, so give yourself the time to get those approvals, whether internal approvals, could be legal approval, all of those things. If you start out with your very first thing being a drop-dead date, you may easily find yourself with content that's expired. Okay, that's already old news. So if you're just starting out and you do not have the mechanisms in place necessarily for all of the approvals and processes that have to go through to launch video content, give yourself a break and start with something that if you miss it by 2 weeks, it's still useful.